It is easier to build children than mend adults.
I think identifying the problems and taking care of them is a lot easier than letting them go and dealing with the consequences later.
SOI as a model of learning is powerful.
What you are going to see is that the child is more comfortable with what they're doing. They have success with their reading. They're excited about school again because they know they can do it.
The teachers who run our program, they say they never want to go back to teaching without our program. That means a lot.
We're sick educationally and we don't know quite what to do. I'd like to be the doctor if people would let me.
SOI is based on the structure of intellect, which was developed during World War II. The Army Air Corps required all candidates to successfully pass a college-level entry test. Regrettably, 35% of them were washing out. So they called in psychologist J.P. Guilford. He constructed questions not normally found on intelligence tests. His test reduced the washout rate to less than 5%. As a result of his success, the military sponsored his work at the University of Southern California for the next 20 years. In 1965, Dr. Mary Meeker, a student of Guilford and a professor at the University of Southern California, researched Guilford's theory of the functions of human intelligence and soon came up with her own groundbreaking application.
She augmented what his research did, his whole theory, in a very important way, because all he was doing was measuring intelligence. And what she said is, you can teach these abilities. Now that's quite different.
Dr. Meeker's love of education led her toward new ways of looking at intelligence in children. She soon founded SOI, which identified how human intelligence relates to the demands of learning. Dr. Robert Meeker partnered with Mary in 1965, continuing the development of SOI. His design efforts concentrated on computer programs for SOI test analysis, reading programs, and workbook modules.
My opinion of education today is that it's lacking in almost every area. And I do not blame teachers for that. I do not blame curriculum for that.
By the time you end up with a high school student who is not successful, you really have to stop blaming that the failure has been with teaching. There's no way they would have encountered poor teaching through all those grades.
After a while, education dropped out in favor of test scores.
Teachers are prepping students for the high-stakes test, and they take so much time in making sure that their classroom passes those tests that they lose valuable teaching time.
If I'm slow getting the material, and then the class goes on to the next lesson, then I've probably missed 2 or 3 concepts here, or 2 or 3 skills, or whatever it is. And now the next lesson is going to count on those, and I don't have them.
And we're dealing much more with behavior problems and weaker entering abilities, which means we're trying to do double time in the grade levels to catch up.
So why don't we turn it around? Train them first, and then take the high